Growing up in a predominantly black city that was at the focal point of the civil rights movement of the 1960s was not a big deal to me. A city filled with such a rich and violent history was just an ordinary place for an adolescent boy. Visits to historic sites like Lynn Park, 16th Street Baptist Church, and the Civil Rights Museum were all so damn boring because I didn't understand the context of their significance. Racial inequality was a foreign concept. Everyone around me, including my dog, looked like me. And yeah, we may have had our problems, but we were living pretty good as far as I was concerned. The context of my environment shielded me to a great extent from much of the backwards living that was going on in the world outside. The day came when I had to leave for college, filled with much emotion, anxiety, and pressure to succeed at what so many doubted I could do. I packed up my mom's truck and made the 6-hour journey to a small rural town in eastern Kentucky. Early experiences in my first year brought up feelings and emotions that had never been touched before. Since students were coming from different regions of the country and backgrounds, pre-exposure to people who looked like me was often associated with negativity, crime, violence, and the list goes on. Being called a nigger while riding my bike to Walmart with friends and being regarded as violent and a gangster because of what someone saw on TV hurt more than words could express. My presence alone became a problem. The moment when I truly realized that I was black was the most hurtful and impactful experience of them all because it came at the expense of a bigot and a hater. Having never been forced to fully consider race and my history until it became a problem in certain contexts, I went to Senegal that first summer willing to learn and live. My journey to Senegal was long, but well worth it in the end. My host family quickly opened up to me and me to them. We became a family tied through something divine. The tone of my skin quickly went from being a problem to being a norm again. The whole country looked like me. The government officials, teachers, everyone. I felt empowered as if I had come home. The context of my current environment changed everything. I was able to visit the island from which slaves were deported and did what so many others before me were unable to do. I went through the door of no return and came back through it. It all seemed so divine, and then reality set in. It was time to leave the place that I had fallen in love with. My contexts were changing again and not in the direction that I had wanted. Everything was black and white, bad and good, negative and positive. The polarized environment fueled me to work harder, faster, smarter, so that I could return to Senegal, and that I did. My second trip was even better. I taught more classes, had a summer fling with the Senegalese Hadi, and I had the chance to spend precious time with my family. Everything was great until it was again time to leave. This departure came with much more emotion because I wasn't sure how the next journey back would be funded. The uncertainty of whether I would be able to return was unbearable. My context began to blur and I was hungry to make it back to Senegal. I was fortunate to receive funding just weeks before my intended departure and made the journey back. But before that, I took a short detour of 5 weeks and spent that time further honing my French skills in Paris. The context of being a black man that spoke fluent French, so much so that Parisians wouldn't even believe me when I said I was American, surprised many. 3 days after returning home from Paris, I was on a flight back to Senegal to see my family again for what would surely be the last time before finishing college. I took every opportunity possible to travel the country, interact with others, and have fun. My experiences abroad taught me so much about myself, but even more about the beauty of life. I've been transformed into an American Christian Muslim Catholic that views the world through a very different lens than he did 3 summers before he went to Senegal. Through it all, I learned that no place is perfect. You simply have to find the context that works best for you, because at the end of the day, you must do what makes you happy, and the context around you truly impact that.